cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's time again to cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's the number one podcast. The topics of discussion when we broadcast. So all them artificial man jokes, we do it natural from the concrete to a public standpoint. Real, wherever you're from, life is coexistence, but to know the real, you just gotta listen. Wherever you're from, life is coexistence, but to know the real, you just gotta listen.
What up, everybody, and welcome to the 52 Scott Podcast. This is For Women Wednesday. I'm your host, Freddie G, joined by my co-host, K Money, Slash, and Comedian 96. Collectively, we are the Mind of Men. Don't forget to follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast. On Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast. And for all my YouTubers, don't forget to like and subscribe. And welcome to another Women Wednesday. Okay, fellas, today's topic, it'll actually be suitable and best suitable if there was females on the panel. Unfortunately, we don't have females on the panel. So with that being said, I'm going to ask you guys to stand in the gap for black women today, as best you can. Now, what I mean by that is I want you to make a case for black women as well as making a case for yourself as a black man on who has it harder in the United States, black women or black men. So with that being said, Comedian 96, make a case for a black woman, for the black women and the black man of who actually has it harder in the United States.
All right, so I am going to start with the black woman with kids, and the same thing with a man. With just say one kid, black woman with a kid, and a black man with a kid. Okay,
Single
parent. I'm gonna use both, and this will kind of summarize. You gotta say, let's start with the black woman. You know, ladies first, and she's single, and she has one child. Baby daddy not assisting. And she's got to go to work, right? So this black woman has to work, take care of a child, take child to daycare or school, cook, clean, and whatever else she do, shop, but she got to do it alone. Now, on the flip side, if she didn't have a job or needed money, it is very easy for her to access or get government assistance. She can get welfare, food stamps. When they see I hate to say it like this, but when the state see a woman with a child and no assistance, no baby daddies, oh, come on in here, we got you, right? I hate to say it like that, right? Now, on the flip side, I have someone I personally know. They're actually in my family. I don't want to say no names. He has a daughter. Same situation. But he had no job, right? He had a job, just now, no job. This person goes, he has a child, tries to get assistance, tries to get living arrangements, all that, welfare. They are not, the state is not receptive of single dads like that. No one wanted to help. He couldn't get a place to stay. He couldn't get no assistance, and if they tried, they giving him the runarounds.
He was the custodial parent.
He's not. The mom is out. She's in another. We don't know what she's.
That could be the difference.
So what I asked,
but he has her. He has her, and she lives with him.
So check it out.
See what I'm saying?
Get that assistance. I'm saying maybe the difference on why he's having issues getting it.
But still, if you walk up to a facility where the homeless and you have your daughter with you late at night, 10 p.m., and you turn them away, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're not gonna turn away a single mama and her daughter. They're not gonna do that. But they turn this person away, and it is harder for males to get assistance. Even when you call, the child support. You can call and be a custodian, but they're gonna start. If they hear a male voice, they're gonna have an attitude right off until you tell you the custodian.
Comedian 96. So you may recall me mentioning I wanted you to make a case.
I did for both.
Hold on.
Oh.
So you made a case for black women what was the case that you made for black women that would prove that they have it harder?
Well, again, they have to, for a black woman, it's a little harder because, again, we're stronger. As men, we're stronger, right? So anything physical that, something simple as taking water up to a thing of water to the third floor. Now, I'm not saying a woman can't do it, but things are a little bit harder for a woman. You get what I'm saying? So on a physical level.
That's what I'm saying. Like, well, that's understood. Let me show you something.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this to get to a point or whatever because I hear a lot that women say, that I hear black women say, well, it's harder for a woman than it is for a man. Mm-hmm. Things are harder than on the same, in the same, not the same breath, but a man will be like, nah, it's harder being a black man than it is being a black woman. Then each party or each person or gender will go and explain why it's harder.
Right.
So because we don't have any women here to explain why it's harder. So with that being said, what you just mentioned, and you use water as an example, let me say this. If you had a guy that could bench press 300 pounds, and then you take me, and I'm barely bench pressing my weight, which is significantly less than 300 pounds.
Right.
It's obvious that this person can lift more than me.
Right.
So when you use an example of men being able to lift things and do more physical things, well, it just depends on your strength in regards to that. I want you to make a point for black women as to why they have it harder. Now, you made an excellent point for black men when you mentioned that the system doesn't seem friendly toward black men, although the system should be there for them too.
Right.
Because it's not gender specific with these laws and these things. It's not gender specific, but that system should support that black man just as well as the system support the black women. But you made an excellent point and a great point as to why black men have it harder, and for me, I think it's probably the person that's working on the other side that see black men. Nah, I ain't helping you, and they will go out of their way more for a woman than a black. That's just depending on the person that's working that day.
So I got one.
So make a strong case
Correct.
for both parties.
I am.
As to why each one has it harder.
Okay. Now let's take the kids away. Now you got a single black man and a single black woman, no kids.
Okay.
All right. With jobs, I think it's an even split. I'm sorry. If they both got jobs, I think it's an even split. Take the jobs away. Take the jobs away from both the black man and the black woman. At this point, it's harder for the man because there's no assistance places for men. A woman can go somewhere and they will put them up in something, right? Easily. Send them in school, help them get on their feet. But for a man, you got to go back 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. It ain't going to be no one-time visit. I've seen this personally.
Okay, so a lot of what you're speaking of, that sounds to me like nonprofit organizations that actually it could be a battered woman or somebody.
Right, that's okay.
So you know what? Let me start a foundation that could help women that used to be just like me.
So is there a battered man? No. That's the point I'm trying. It's harder for just me. I think a single man, no kids, harder. A single woman, a woman with kid and a man with kid, I think it's harder for the woman.
Okay, go ahead, K-Money.
No, I was just going to say, and I do agree with what you're saying. However, I do feel that there are programs out there for men. It's just you don't hear about many of them.
Yeah.
Like you say, most women have gone through these type of situations, being abused, things of that nature. So you will find more programs suited for women more than you would for the men, in my opinion.
I think they have programs for men. I think what the issue is there's a lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
Or a lack of promoting from these.
Now say that.
That's another good one.
These separate organizations.
Right. You don't hear about them.
Because if you Google,
because there's more stuff for men, we just don't look for it. And I think because the mentality of a man is, I got to do for myself.
pride.
True that.
It's a pride thing.
I agree.
Especially with black men. It's not many of us that's going to sit around and be lazy. Now, there are some. Don't get me wrong. But it's not many of us with the right mind frame to know, hey, man, I got to go out. I got to work. I got to make something of myself. Hell, I got kids I got to take care of. That's just the mentality of a man. I'm not talking about boys. We're not talking about boys.
True.
So any man that has this mind frame is going to step up for himself, and he's not looking to go to the internet to find assistance. He's looking for a job.
He looking for a job.
So there's a lack of education, I think, for the black man and assistance. And I don't knock no black man for not wanting assistance. That just shows the determination and the strength in I guess in your mindset to say, you know what, I'm not going to use a government assistance to get what I need. I'm going to struggle to get where I need to get, because we've all been known to struggle before as a black community. This is how we got where we are.
I agree with you.
So let me throw something at you. Now, Comedian 96, when you, and this is for all of y'all, right? So Comedian 96, when I asked you to give me an example of make a case for black women having it harder in the United States, then I wanted you to make a case for black men having it harder than black women in the United States. You gave me a scenario, which was a good scenario, where you had a single mom and a single guy. So, here's what I want y'all to do. We're going to say that there's a married couple. Mm-hmm. They both make $100,000 a year. They both they're together with children. Mm-hmm. Now, you take that single mom and she go out on her day every day. Whatever she has to do, her day every day. She goes to work, goes to the grocery store, do what she do, whatever she do in her day every day. That man goes off
And do what
he do what he do every day.
Uh-huh.
And when they come home,
Yeah.
and they sitting at the dinner table with their children, because they sitting at the dinner table and they saying their prayers and they thanking God for the good jobs and having the food and everything, and they're counting their blessings. And then that man looks over to that woman and said, "Babe, how was your day?" And then she turns over to him and say, "Well, honey, how was your day?"
Yeah.
So, who has it harder?
So, I just want to say this real quick because this is good. I think, and just let me say, I think that it's an equal opportunity here for hard. I think it's just different scenarios.
Yep.
The women are going to have it hard because if she's got this, 6-figure job yearly or whatever, she's going through so much at this job. She's married, number one. She has kids. So all of that, what you mentioned, Comedian 96 at first, she still have to do even though she has this job. But now we don't know what she go to work and have to deal with. You got the men trying, and maybe sexual harassment, and she may just not want to get involved and just ignore it.
Yeah.
But that's hard for a woman.
It is.
Because it happens to them everywhere they go. On the street, at the store,
Exactly.
even church.
Well, I'm ignorant because she tell me that I'm ignorant. I'm coming up to the job.
So they have it hard in that sense. I don't think men have it hard in that sense because women are not sexually harassing us. Maybe.
They are, but we love it.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Yeah.
We're gonna say okay to it. Maybe
Our reaction is gonna be different from a female. Yeah.
Where I think the men have it hard at is having this 6-figure a year job and going to work and being a black man. There are other races of men in the same office that don't like you, number one, because of the type of money you make and the color of your skin. So in a sense, that's harder dealing with our pride because we know we got to go to work and make this money, and we can't let this nonsense that they got knock us off our game.
Yeah,
because we're gonna be the one to lose our job. We can't get upset with what they say, and they saying stuff. We just don't hear it, but they saying it. Hey man, how the black guy da 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 da. So you kind of have to watch the things that you do, even the purchases that you make because you have this job. as a black man, if you make this kind of money, you're going to buy nice stuff. But you can't show up every 2 years in a different brand new car to these people. They're going to have something to say. Now, that's going to jeopardize your relationship around this office with certain people. That's going to knock you off your game. So I think it's just a difference in, they both have it hard. It's just a difference of where they having it hard at.
I'm going to slightly piggyback off some of the things that you said, Slash, especially where the finances are concerned. I do agree in this scenario that the black men have it hard. However, the only reason I'm going to say finances, and this is where I'm piggybacking, come into play is, that vehicle that they're driving, because us as black men, we have to go to work and then we have to make it home. And I think that's where the tough part comes in, because we all have experienced driving while black.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if we got pulled over, the chances on how this police stop turns out in a positive outcome, we rolling the dice.
Yeah.
Females I don't think have to deal with those type of issues. And a police pulling a black man over in a Benz or a Jaguar, a policeman is not going to automatically assume you got a 6-figure job or anything like that. They're going to stereotype you as being a drug dealer first, and something on a positive note last. And instead of you trying to explain why you're allowed to drive this because you can afford it, you have some policemen that don't even give you that opportunity to explain your situation.
Right.
And it can turn into a bad situation fast.
Exactly.
And we've seen this on the news
Several
over
times.
and over again.
Yeah.
Where a black man has been innocent, but he ended up losing his life.
They accuse him as guilty.
So I would have to say, black men have it worse in this scenario. I can't really give an argument for the black female in this scenario, other than coming home and dealing with the stresses of everyday life, as well as the stresses that they deal with on their job.
See, black women don't have a problem with, they can drive the nicest vehicle. They not getting pulled over unless they just, heavy foot and they speeding.
Right.
So the police officers are not really looking at women because, for one, most of the time they're not going to harm or think of harming a woman in a traffic stop.
Right.
Unless she's irate or she's cussing or whatever, But like you say, we have to make it from the office to home. And no matter, and I think that it shouldn't be us having to explain why I have this type of car and why I'm driving. I shouldn't even have to explain that. So yeah, that's hard for us, because why do I have to explain to you that I'm not a drug dealer? Why are you automatically stereotyping me because of my color of my skin and the car that I drive? And I'm going to work every day.
Right. Paying your salary.
You know what I'm saying? It's sad. But then the police officer, he don't have that 6-figure job either. And it could be, that's where the hate comes in.
Envious.
It's the envy. It's a lot of stuff that plays a big part in this. And I think we're speaking from the black man's perspective because we can identify with what we're talking about. I don't know what other cultures go through, but I've never seen them pull over the Indian guy and beat him up.
Yeah. So I asked you guys to make a case for the black woman, knowing that it would be extremely difficult.
It is.
For 4 men to make a case for a black woman having it harder in the United States than a black man. However, when I listened to you guys make the case for the black man, that was something that you could identify with. So the case for the black man appeared to be stronger, which is natural.
Right.
If we had 4 women here, it'll be reversed. Right?
I honestly, I'm gonna be honest. Like I said, I think it's stronger only when the man is single. If she has a child, I think it leans towards the woman.
So here's the thing. I get it. You gave situations to where things wasn't balanced.
Right.
And so you felt that it would be more tougher for the female if she was a single mom.
Yes.
Versus a man who was a single mom,
dad.
Single dad. Well, the flip side to that, real quick, I could say, well, that female, she can go get her a man easy.
Right.
And that man will be
that.
more willing, to jump in to play stepdad and to fill the void and
Try
go
to
do
help out, right.
And so versus a man who have a single deal child or whatever, he's struggling, he ain't got no job. That female might not even look at him.
She ain't gonna
he got a
fool with
kid,
him.
he ain't got no
Some
job.
yeah.
I ain't messing with him.
Exactly.
Versus a female that ain't got no job, have a kid, a man to still mess with her.
Yeah.
So
You got a point.
so you can go back and forth. But here's what I would say about all this in closing, right? So can we agree that this in the United States, this is a male dominant society?
Yes.
Yes.
Most definitely.
So now I know we're speaking of black men, but we can say that this is a male dominant society. Now, narrowing it down. Now, I think that black men as a whole in this society, black men are threatening. We appear threatening to the rest of the world, or the rest of the people in the rest of the ethnic groups in the United States. We are threatening to them, even if we're not doing anything.
Intimidating.
Yeah, exactly.
Just on sight.
Yeah, yep. And so, I think that they view us, the other races, view us more of a threat than they view a black woman as being a threat. So, even if a black man is educated,
That's
graduated
definitely a
from Harvard, Yale,
Definitely a threat.
Brown, in corporate America, he may be still a threat. Now, I know we're past light skin, dark skin in the 80s and all that stuff, but there's still, and I'm saying this as a black man, dark skinned man, there's still a stigma about, man, that black ass nigga over there look like he dangerous.
in our own community.
Yeah.
So the darker your complexion as a man,
The more fearful.
yeah,
you may
Yeah.
seem
yeah,
to
yeah,
others.
yeah. And so if it's like that in our own community, think about the white community or the Asian community. You walk around and you look at looking
like Armstead. Walking
yeah,
around.
yeah, super black, you know,
So
super dark.
they may not be as afraid of me
Yeah.
as they are darker skinned
Yeah.
people.
No,
That's
you
sad.
got a point. I don't know
they
if
feel
y'all.
more comfortable.
Yeah.
I see the video. This real quick. I know you ending, but it was a video. Man, the guy. I ain't gonna lie. He looked threatening. He was dark built.
Yeah.
And he was tapping on this white guy's glasses. Don't you clack clack clack? Man, you tap on my glasses, dog. You can't do that. And that dude just stood there and didn't do anything. So he did look threatening.
Yeah.
Man, and not to to change, but yeah, now that you talk about somebody, hey man, I was somewhere. I don't remember where I was, but it was a guy. He was at the bus stop. He had on a black hat, some black shorts, some colorful tennis shoes, and his shirt had the colors in his shoe. Of course, he was matching.
Yeah.
But man, when I tell you, he was black as the clothes he had on. I was like, say, man, this dude. Now, I'm not saying I was afraid of him.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying this is how people look, even in our own, like, like Freddie G
I'm just not
mentioned
gonna
this
run up
statement.
on him at the same time.
Exactly. Because there's this big stigma there, and I
Yeah,
think that's
very
something
big.
amongst us
Yeah.
as a community we need to get out of, man. You know, but we know where the lighter skin come from.
Yeah.
In a sense, that's what they say, you know.
Yeah.
And of course, it's probably true.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, we it's tougher, I think, for a black man in all kinds of ways.
Yeah. And you know, man, in closing, man, let me say this. Not to diminish how hard it is for a black woman in the United States of America. Well, black women all over the world. So not to diminish how hard it is for them, and not to say that our challenges as black men is harder than theirs. Bottom line is, black women and black men both have it hard. We just need to respect each other's challenges in this U.S. This concludes another dope episode. Tune in tomorrow for Think Thursday. Don't forget to follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast, on Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast. And for all my YouTubers, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Remember, the only way we grow is if you let them know.